Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama.
Hare Krishna, Arjuna Sakha Prabhu.
Hare Krishna,
Pranam
Prabhu.
Prabhu, if you are ready, can you turn on the video, Prabhu?
Yeah, Prabhu. Am I? Yeah, Prabhu.
Prabhu, your video is, I think,
sorry.
open. Yes. The camera is open. Hare Krishna, Dandat Pranams.
Hare Krishna, Dandat
Pranams. Okay. Hare Krishna devotees, welcome to Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya on a Saturday morning. Today we just privileged to have His Grace Arjuna Sakha Prabhu, who would be actually covering Canto 5, Chapter 3. It'll be the overview of this entire chapter. So Prabhu, over to you.
Thank you
Let
very
me
much.
know if I have to share the screen, or can I just give you the rights, Prabhu?
Please, Prabhu, if you can, if you have that content, Prabhu, with you, the first, this summary of Prabhupada.
I'll just check, Prabhu.
Yeah, Prabhu.
You can start, Prabhu. I will keep it ready.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrutyam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devi Saraswati Vyasam Tadu Jayat Maduraye Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangulangayate Girim Jatkrupatamaham Bande Sri Guru Dinatarine Shunyatam Sakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hrudayantastu Abhadrani Vibhunoti Sahutsrutam Nashtaprayesu Abhadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Ruttama Shlokir Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesa Sundabadi Pasyatya Deshatarine Namo Mahabadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratesh Namo Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Jagat Hitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namah Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Nanad Pranam, I offer my obeisance to all of you. So this is a very sweet chapter, very small chapter, comprises of only 20 verses, but 20 verses are full of prayer to the Lord and the appearance of the Lord, and also there is a promise given by him. Am I audible, Prabhu? Am I clear to everybody? Am I audible?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay,
Yes, Prabhu. You are very clear. Video, audio, very good.
Very good. Thank you, Prabhu. So this chapter is the Rishabadev's appearance in the home of Merudevi, the wife of King Navi. So let's have a very quick reading on the purport of Srila Prabhupada, the synopsis. We have only the synopsis, very one paragraph by Srila Prabhupada. Let's read that. In this chapter, the spotless character of King Navi, the oldest son of Agnigra, is described. Wanting to have sons, Maharaj Navi underwent severe austerity and penances. He performed many sacrifices along with his wife and worshipped Lord Vishnu, master of all sacrifices. Being very kind to his devotee, the Supreme Personality of Godhead was very pleased with the austerities of the Maharaj Navi. He personally appeared before the king in his 400 features, and the priest who were performing the sacrifices, began to offer their prayers unto him. They prayed for the son. They prayed for the son, for a son like the Lord, and Lord Vishnu agreed to take birth in the home of Merudevi, the wife of King Navi, and incarnate as King Rishabadev. So we'll understand the synopsis. Also, if you look at the entire family lineage, what a lineage, what a amazing lineage. If you look at the past, we have read about Priyabrat, thereafter Angragri, and now we're talking about Rishabdev. And going forward, we'll also be discussing about, well, I'll not here, we'll not be discussing, but going forward in Srimad Bhagavatam, we'll be getting to know about him by King Bharat. Bharat, Jada Bharat, and this is a perfect lineage. And I was just reading that purport as well as the characteristics, all the lineage, the characters of the parents, particularly from one generation to another. And there is a huge transformation and shift. And there is the shift. If you can understand this, the pattern, we should understand how, as a father or my parents, we should take care of our generations, and what should be the objective. This is the teachings from these topics that will be definitely the treasure for all of us. Let's understand that. So let's offer the prayer to Srila Prabhupada. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Chakhyurunmilitam Jainam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Jaina Bhutale Sayam Rupa Kadamaiham Dadati Shapadantikam. Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Jutapada Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavanshamsya Sri Rupam Shagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Nidam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Shahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakha Nitansya. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarubheshya Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivashadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So here we are talking about the fifth canto, the chapter 3. So prior to this, we learned about the Priyabrat, the grandfather of Navi. So in this chapter, in Priyabrat story, what we learned, the Priyabrat was a very devoted soul. And initially what happened? Initially he was very dedicated to the Lord. And he was a devotee. But with the influence of his father's, inspired by his father's desire, he started developing the world. And if you recall, Priyabrat, he separated this earth because of the chariot. By the movement of the chariot, he demarcated the earth into ocean and the land. And if you look at the continents and this ocean that we are talking about, it is the contribution of King Priyabrat. And later, with the influence of, with the association of the devotee. Here you can see the importance and this, what is the benefit of a devotee, the association of devotee. Priyabrat get associated with Narad Muni, and because of that he started getting the devotional service. Again, he entered into the devotional service. Now, in the second generation, the eldest son of Priyabrat, Angrigri, what he learned, the intention of getting a child, particularly the son, was very high. That is, what is the intention? So that somebody I need somebody, my child at least, who can give me the pindadan. So that if you look at this generation, today's generation also, we understand the Brahmanical generation in our society. The parents need somebody who need to have pindadan, need to give a pindadan, so that you after the death you stay peacefully in the place that we are entering. But this chapter, the essence of this chapter says, Yam yam api smaranam bhavam tejayanti kalevaram tam tam api kuntiya sudatat bhava bhavita. Prabhupada has described this wonderfully. That means, and we can see this in various chapters of Srimad Bhagavatam. During the time of death, if you keep on remembering those things, you'll definitely, that bhava will come to you in the next birth. And that's how, what happened. King Angrigri, he was inclined towards, because of the separation from the wife, is a Apsara from Swarga. It was arrangement by Brahmaji. And he was thinking about, only consistently thinking about the his wife, and he could not focus on the Krishna consciousness or devotional service. And finally, he got what? The Pitara. The Pitara, and he stayed very peacefully in the Pitara lok. But this is not a healthy sign. What Brahmaji says, sorry, Bhagavan Krishna says, what? Kinne punne vishadam. The moment you finishes your pious activities, you're coming back to the Martha in the Prithvi. And when you are, for example, you are fallen into this, the Nimna Joni, or maybe in this, or in the different, the lower planetary systems, and you nullify your papam, you'll again come back to this Martha. So gatagatam, it will keep on going and coming, but this is not the ultimate benefits, right? And that how we'll get to know. Now, after this chapter, the second chapter of Angrigri, now Angrigri had got 9 children, 9 sons. And out of this 9, they all married to the daughters of the Meru, right? And Meru Devi married to whom? The first child, that first son is Navi. Now, in this chapter, what happens? Navi and Meru Devi, they went for austerity and penance, tapasya. Thousands of years tapasya. And what is the objective? The objective of this, what is the intent? The intent of this tapasya is to get a child. But here, the intent is purified. You completely purified. What is the intent? The intent is to get a child, but the child should be like the Lord Himself. And this is what the transit. Now, his father's intention was to get a child so that he can give the pindadan. Now, the intent of Navi is to get a child who will be like Vishnu. Sambandha. Now, in this point, Prabhupada has mentioned about this, the intention. And again, Prabhupada mentioned about the 7 types how we can please Vishnu. The 7 ways to worshiping Vishnu, that is also being narrated here. And what is the process that will not be, you will be definitely going deep dive into this third verses, second verses. I'm not going to that. But the whole objective is to please the Lord. Here in this chapter, we'll get to know how we can please the Lord. The whole intention should be directed for only the pleasing of the Lord. And Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Jat karoshi, jad ashnoshi, jat guhyoshi, dadasi, jat tapasyeshi tu konti, tat kuru tad madarpanam. In chapter 3 of this Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says, the all activities, what we are doing, Jagnartha, should be for the purport of only one thing, to please the Lord, right? For the service of the Vishnu, right? This is what the intent was established in the Bhagavad Gita in chapter 3. So here we'll get to know that though it was, the intent was to get a child, but also the intent behind this also to please the Lord. And in this case, Navi and Meru Devi, they offered the tapasya through the Brahmins, through this, the judge, the priest. They offered lots of prayer to the Lord. And Lord appears in the form of Chaturbhuja, Sankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma. And he was carrying the four, and it is described very beautifully, the form of the Lord. How beautifully he is holding the Shankha, Chakra, Gada, and Padma. And also Pitambar, he is wearing the Pitambar, Kastuba Mani, all the very paraphernalia he's come along with. And it was the very amazing moment for King Navi and Meru Devi. And the priest, they offered prayer to Lord. And thereafter, Navi also offered prayer to Lord. And with this, the Lord pleased. And in this particular verse, because it was happening in the Satya Yuga in the long past, and the lot of austerity has to be performed. Tapasya has to be performed. But anyway, the only objective is to get the glimpse of the Lord. They got it. And they got the, what is the boon they were asking for? They were asking for one boon. We want a son who will be like you. Who will be like you? I want a child like you. But the Lord says what? Nobody can be like me. So I'll be coming. My answer as a angsansa, that means as a angs the part I'll be coming, and Lord came in the form of Rishabadev. So what we are hearing from here, from Srimad Bhagavatam in this chapter is, even during that time, that's what prevailing, to get a child is important, very important. But the practice of putting austerity and doing the tapasya and the effort of getting the pleasure, getting this blessings of the Lord is very important. And now we are taking in a very casual way, and that's how we are getting this kalmas. From this, we will get to know that means how we should plan for bringing children. Even Angragri, Navi, what they did a lot of tapasya to get the blessings of the Lord. And it is not for 1 day or 2 days or maybe small effort. No, huge effort. And what is the intent of the huge effort? To get a child, the qualified child. And today also in our society, in the Vedic parampara, before getting married, the marriage is marriage is the arrangement, right? The pious arrangement, so that you get purified. You get purified. The both couple will get purified. And after getting the process, the purification process, and when they are entering into this uh, the family life, and they are intending to get a child also, that is a wonderful process. Prior to that, what we should do, how we should do, what we should plan, how we can get the blessings of the Lord, how we get the blessings of all the Deva Devis, and also getting the blessings of the Guru Parampara, blessings of the Vaishnavas, right? These are all processes, all been laid down. And finally, when the wife get pregnant, what should be the way? That means the Garvadan Diksha, going to the spiritual master, staying there for some time, getting the learning or teachings from the Guru, teachings from the spiritual master, so that the child in the womb get benefited. And this is the parampara, the basic we have already laid down, but it is growing. It is gradually, this parampara and these systems is going down and down and down. And what we are getting Dampatti Rati Dhimahi. This Prabhupada says from one, what is the identity of Brahman? Brahmane Sutra Dhimahi and Dampatti Rati Dhimahi. The meaning of the the dampatya means couples. The couple's life is restricted only for the pleasure of sexual pleasure. And if there is a hindrance in that, now the divorce rate will go up. There is a diversion. There is a disturbance in this family life. Because the whole objective, the intent is gone. And that is the problem, that we are getting what? The child, the similar child with different minds. Moghasha, Mogha Karmana, Mogha Jnanam Vichetasha, Rakshasim Asurim Chaiva, Prakritim Mohinim Srita. This will be the identity of Kali Yuga. The full influence of this, the Mohini, Prakriti Mohini, influence of this, the glittery and the attractive, the attraction of the Prakriti. And so that what will happen? The influence will be on the child and such, they'll always thinking in the demonic characteristics and qualification, demonic thought process. Moghasha, Mogha Karmana, Mogha Jnanam Vichetasha. So what is the essence? The essence is, even if you are getting child or planning for a child or thinking about getting a child, still we should, first of all, we should understand the process, understand the intent, so that we can think about the pleasure of the Lord, getting the blessings of Guru, getting the blessings of the Lord, getting the blessings of this, the parampara, sadhu parampara. And thereafter we can think about the getting a child. And even getting the, even child is in the home, that is also a process. We should, during that time also, we should understand what the process we should follow. And doing this, definitely what will happen? This child will be coming very pious, with a very pious thought, the full Krishna consciousness thought, so that it will be, the groundwork is already done, the foundation is already done. And once the foundation is done, thereafter you just, the skeletal is done, now you need to do very basic things. And he will get the mercy of the Lord throughout his life. And even what you learn from the Rishabadev, if you look at the Prabhupada, quote many times of the Rishabadev's teachings. And we are in this, if you look at the Jambudip, it is mentioned about the Jambudip. And we are part of this Jambudip. Jambudipe Bharata Varse. Today also we go to the temple, any of our temples, like Narayan temple, Vishnu temple, wherever we go. What do we do? We do the sankalpa before, during the time of darshana. What do we do? We do sankalpa. And during the sankalp, that what we do? We give our Gotra name, the Gotama Gotra, the Palasya Gola, Pulasya Gotra, the Parashara Gotra, the Bharadwaj Gotra, different Gotras. We give our name, current, my name, Gotra, and also give the Nakshatra that reaches. But when you are doing the Havan, or maybe kind of the Yajna you are doing, so before doing the Yajna, the Jajman will recite the mantras and also give this detail of the address, Jambudipe, Bharata Varse, right? Jambudipe. We are living in Jambudip, and we are fortunate that we are having a king, rulers like Rishabdev, the ruler like Raja Prithu, the ruler like Bharat. And if you look, the Bharat, the king, Bharat, the name Bharatvarsha has come from the Bharat, and it was in Satyayuga, long time back. And what the teachings they have given, such a wonderful teaching. Human life is not meant to be like dog and hogs. Nayam deha dehanu bhaja nirloke. Kastan kama na arhati bidhujam. Tapo divyam putraka jena suddhita satta jasmin sukamanantam. So that we can get, we're qualified to get a ananta sukh, eternal bliss in each and every moment of life. We're qualified. As a human being, we deserve that. And what we're doing, we're hankering after the material enjoyment, and which always in the, like a fluctuating like a roller coasters. One moment complete happiness and another moment complete gone. Sukham dukham, sukham dukham. So the roller coaster in the material world, but we are enjoying that. And Rishabh is saying this is not the life. This is the life of a what? dog eaters. Sorry, like Bista eater, Bidvujan, that means like dog and horse. They are doing the same thing, and you are also as a human being doing the same thing. This is not the right thing. What do you need to do? You need to focus on the one thing so that you are qualified, you deserve to be in Ananta Sukha, but you are not doing that. You're leading a life of a dog and hog. So how you get it? How you'll get it? It'll be, you need to please the Lord. You need to tapasya, put endeavor for that. Practice austerity for that. And if you do that, what will happen? Ananta Sukh ki adhikari, you'll be getting this, the Ananta Sukh, eternal bliss each and every moment. Tapo divyam putrika jena. Now you need to do what? You need to be in constitutional position. If you read this chapter, we have already read this chapter of uh, the first chapter. What we did is in this particular chapter, at one particular point, it is described as the bull. For example, if you are in a bullock cart, you are running a bullock cart, and the bull are tied with the ropes. The nose, they press the nose, and they tie the rope of the rope with the in the nose of this bull, right? The rope is tied in the nose of the bull. Similarly, we as a jiva, Baddhatma, what we get? We are tied in the three ropes. We are tied in the three ropes. What are the three ropes? This Raja, Tama, and Satya. These are the three ropes of the nature. We're all tired. These are all invisible, but we are tired. As if the bull is tired and the bullock cart, he has to force, the bull is forced to uh, take care of the bird, to drag the bullock cart, right? And similarly, we are forced to do these activities, whatever we are doing, by the with the force of this, as by the prakriti. None of us are free from this rope, right? So similarly, and here in this chapter it is described, it is the rope which is binding us, the three ropes of the prakriti binding us at each and every moment. But only the mercy of the Lord, only with our efforts, with the mercy of the Lord, mercy of the Gurus, mercy of the sadhus, we can get rid of this rope. And in Bhagwan, in chapter in 15:13, Krishna is very beautifully described. Asanga sastrena drudena chindva. Urdham sa adha. Adhasya urdham prasuti jasya sakha gune prabudha vishaya pravala. Adhasya mulani anusantatani karmanu bandhini manushya loki. Everybody is tired with these three ropes. And what is the influencer of this? The karma is the influencer. Because of the past deed that we have been tired by the Prakriti. But what he says, karmanu bandhin asanga sastrena drudena chinda. With the determination and a detachment, we can get rid of this. So in this chapter, particularly in this chapter 3 of the Canto 5, there are three things that we'll be learning. Number one, by the mercy of Rishabadev going forward, not only I'm combining this chapter, but going forward, chapter 3, 4, 5, 6, if you look at this, what is the intent? What are the great teachings he has given to us? Number one, we are always entangled in the material world, and we'll keep on entanglement in this entanglement as long as we wish, as long as we desire. So our desire is never going to be fulfilled at any point of time. The small desire finishes, another desire will come up. Another desire finishes, another will come up. Never-ending desires. So it is up to your choice. It is your choice. That means you want to be remain in the material entanglement as long as you can. Now, first learning. Second learning is develop the interest, relationship, sambandha with the Lord. Develop the sambandha with the Lord. Develop the attachment for the Lord. Develop the interest, inquisitiveness to having a relationship with the Lord through tapasya. And once you do it, they start developing detachment for this material world. So this is great teachings from Rishabadev. Going forward, we'll be learning that. But one thing really attracts me is how to do that. And here it is says that different processes, we all know that different processes laid down to please Lord or to get association of the Lord. And even Srimad Bhagavatam, it is a wonderful prayer by Sukdev Goswami, is wonderfully prayed. Jat kirtanam jat smaranam jadarshanam jat bandhanam jat darhanam. Jat-kirtanam jat-smaranam jadarshanam jad-vandanam jat-smaranam jadikkhanam lokasya sadyo vibhunoti kalmasham tasmai shubhadra sravashe namo namaha. Just having listening Srimad Bhagavatam, the glories of the Lord. Jat-kirtanam, by glorifying the Lord, chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Darshanam, having a glance of the Lord. Smaranam, remembering the glories of the Lord, remembering the leelas of the Lord. Ikkhanam, we have wonderful Radha Binod in our deity. And just Ikkhana means just stay in front of him. Just stand in front of him. I'll be having a glance. That is enough. That is enough. Right? Jadikkhanam. Jad Bandhanam, just to glorify the stuti. You have seen this wonderful stuti. You'll be listening to the wonderful stuti by the, the priest here of the Lord, right? And we have many stuti. So in this stuti also, we'll be purify ourselves. And we can purify ourselves from this. Lokasya sadhyo vidhunoti kalmasya. Eternally, we have been entangled and we have been depositing a repository of huge amount of the papam. So what happens? The kalmasas goes away with this process. But with this, what we understand, the Lord says the different process. And today we're very fortunate that we are in the age of Kali. And in the age of Kali, the Lord has given a wonderful process. Very simple process. Very simple process. I can just, there's one thing that I was remembering while reading this chapter, particular chapter. Two very distinctive lila of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came into the mind. Number one, the how we as a human being should be inquisitive to develop the relationship or be association of the Lord. It is King Pratap Rudradev, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is just reached Jagannath Puri from this Bharat Brahman, particularly South India. From there, he went to um, Vrindavan and came back to Jagannath Puri. And King Pratap Rudradev was staying in Cuttack. Cuttack was the capital of Odisha by that time, Utkal. And by that time, Pratap Rudra got to know that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come back to Jagannath Puri. And he wanted to have a darshan. He has written a letter to Sarvabhaume Bhattacharya, please arrange. I request Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to give some time or maybe appointment for me. I want to have a darshan of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu declined that. I can't meet Pratap Rudradev. Being a sannyasi, people will think that I have some interest, vested interest for that. In the second letter, Pratap Rudra again written a letter to Sarvabhaume Bhattacharya and praying the lotus feet of all the devotees, associated devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, begging for blessings, so that with their blessings, he can have a darshan of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, association of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he says, in his letter he written, without the association of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I have no interest ruling this kingdom. I lost this interest in ruling the kingdom. But still, it didn't move. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't give any permission. Again, he has written a message, sent a message, now to Rai Ramanand. He says, if I'm not getting the association of the Lord, if I'm not getting the darshan of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I'll not leave my prana. I'll give off my life. I'll give up my life. Now here the twist come. Everybody became very, very, very disappointed and become concerned now. There's worries now. How come the King Prataprudradev is such a wonderful devotee of the Lord? Anuragi is the word Anuragi is given. Nityanand Mahaprabhu also says he's Anuragi. And how come a Anuragi Bhakta be like this and he is planning to give off his life? And Rai Ramanan, everybody consulted and they went together with Prastav that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu should give a darshan to Prataprudradev. And during that time, what happened? Everybody was standing, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is there, and nobody could utter a single word. Nobody could utter a single word. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, I understand you all came here to give me something, but you all are afraid. Please tell me, what is this? Is it you want me to have an association with Prataprudradev? Is this uh, the proposal you all are carrying with you? Everybody were, yeah, that is the only proposal they came here. Now Nityanand Prabhu, just cutting it short, Nityanand Prabhu says, is wonderful says, Prabhu, Prataprudradev is a Anuragi. And the Anuragi Bhakta, what they do, the Anuragi Bhakta, they always ready to, the only intent of this life is to get their Ishta. And who is the Ishta here? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Ishta. What is Ishta? Ishta means is the one whom they incline. Ishta is Krishna is our Ishta, right? Mahapurus. So the only intent of the devotee is to get their association of their Ishta, the blessings of their Ishta. And if they're not getting the association of the Ishta or maybe darshan of the Ishta, what they do? They're ready to give up their life. And he has given a wonderful quote from Srimad Bhagavatam. Example was given, wonderful example at the right point of time. And is given the Brahmanis of the Vrindavan is the example. The Brahmana deride them, they refused to offer prasadam Krishna to Krishna. But immediately the Brahmana gave off, even they're ready to give off the association of the Brahmana, they are husbands, and they went straight. And if the Brahmana, that is some Brahmana, they refused to, they didn't give permission to the Brahmanis to meet Krishna. But during that time, they were ready to give up their life. And this is the state of a devotee, a pure devotee, a Anuragi devotee, like Prataprudradev. And this is not the end of the story. Prataprudradev, what he did, thereafter what happened, Nityanand proposed one thing, that if you are not giving association, give one thing. Give the Uttariya to him. And we all know Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was ready to give this Uttariya and send it to Prataprudradev. It was sent to Prataprudradev. And Prataprudradev, what a wonderful bhava, inquisitive. We should learn how to develop that inquisitiveness from Prataprudradev. And Prataprudradev, what happened? He started worshipping that Uttariya, kept it in this sanctum sanctorium of the temple, and kept it as if the Lord himself. And here Prabhupada, written in the purport, he says, Tvadiya, Krishna and Tvadiya are not different. The name, the Krishna's, the ornaments, the Krishna's Tvadiya, your paraphernalia, everything is not different from Krishna. And similarly, he has given the example of Vrindavan. As the everything, all the each and every being, everything in Vrindavan is equal, as worshipable. Similarly, Krishna's Tvadiya is not different. Krishna Tvadiya Pada Pankaja Panjara. You see, there's a wonderful prayer by Vritrasur. Krishna Tvadiya Pada Pankaja Panjara Adhoyamam Vishayamana Sharaja Ansa Prana Prayana Shamai Kafavata Pittayu Kantavaradhanashmat Smaranam Kutasta. Here also the word Tvadiya has come. Tvadiya. Because Tvadiya and Krishna are not different. And Tvadiya what includes? It includes your Krishna's paraphernalia, Krishna's message in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna's message in Bhagavad Gita, Granthas, the Guru, the Vaishnavas, these are all Twadiyas. And we should develop that mentality of non-discriminatory mentality. How we can develop that mentality that when you see Srimad Bhagavatam, when you recite Bhagavad Gita, when you get association of the devotee, when you get association of Guru Parampara, you should always develop this attitude or intent that these are non-different from Krishna. As Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given this message, Ata Sri Krishna Namadi Na Bhavet Gayam Indriya. But along with this, Nama Chinta, Nama is non-different from Krishna himself. Avinnattu Nama Namino. So similarly, when you think and you develop the intent of considering all the Tvadiya is non-different from Krishna, that we develop the seriousness and sincerity in our service. And that's how King Prataprudradev demonstrated that behavior. Demonstrated the behavior. That behavior is very unique. That when you got the Tvadiya, the Uttariya of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he felt so exalted. He felt so ecstatic that he put it in the temple and he started worshipping. And he felt as if this Tvadiya, the Uttariya is not different from Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Later we understood what this story is big, and I request all of you to this read and releases the nectar of this relationship. You see, that's when, if you look at the intent of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, if you look at Srimad Bhagavatam and the Chaitanya Charitamrita is basically, it is very, very mellow, the transcendental mellow. And sometimes it's very difficult for us to see what kind of behavior they are demonstrating. The behavior of Nityanand Mahaprabhu, the behavior of Gadadhar Pandit, the behavior of Advaita Acharya, the behavior of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But when we look at the summary of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, what he says, this behavior are only demonstrated as an instance to give the glance to the devotee. That means what is the devotee? Was the behavior of the devotees staying in the Golok Vrindavan. Nitya Mukta, the associate of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Though they are staying in this metal earth to do their Leela, but the behavior they have demonstrated is the behavior of the devotees residing with the Lord in Golok Vrindavan. For the Mukta, Nitya Mukta. And that should be the ideal for all of us, so that we can develop the taste, develop this attitude towards that, and develop that kind of intention or maybe inquisitiveness for that particular level of demonstrative behavior. Right? So here we can learn Prataprudradev, what kind of behavior he has demonstrated and inquisitiveness to develop the relationship with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Right? And this is how we need to understand to develop the relationship. Suddhita Satta, then only we can understand. Suddhita, Rishabadev is saying Suddhita Satta. That means how to purify and be in our constitutional position. And what is the constitutional position? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu say, Jiver Swarup. The Swarup means the constitutional position is what? Krishna Nityadas. And Rishabdev also advised us to do what? His children. To all of us through his children. What he says? Suddhita Satta. To purify your position. And what you are? You are undiluted. You are a purified, conscious, pure conscious soul. And then only you can enjoy your spiritual bliss. And how the spiritual bliss comes, if you can relate that to the message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the spiritual bliss will only come when you are rendering seva as a pure devotee, as a servant of the Lord. And the wonderful point that again, another story, during this particular point, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there is a Rath Jatra that happened, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was invited to Sarvabhaumya Bhattacharya's house. Sarvabhaumya's Bhattacharya house, you all know this story. I'll not go deeper because we are running short of time. Just cutting short. Sarvabhaumya Bhattacharya, yeah, and invited, and he was staying with his son, daughter, and son-in-law. And the son-in-law is Amog, right? Is Amog. And Amog, during the while Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was taking prasadam, he's given the wrong statement, some um, very loose statement. And Sarvabhaumya Bhattacharya became very annoyed with him. And gradually, what happens? One day, Sarvabhaumya Bhattacharya uh, was very disturbed because of the behavior of Amog, right? And it was a very disturbing situation for him, because if you are inviting somebody that like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at your house, and from anybody from your house or a member from your family, they're rebuking the guest. It is beyond tolerance. And as a head of the family, what happens? All the blame and guilt will come to you. Thereafter, what happens? I'm just not going to the detail of the story. And Amok was infected with stomach infection, and he started haisa, that means diarrhea and diarrhea. And immediately, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu got, and after a few days, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to his remaining in his kutir. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu got to know that Amog is, everybody is Sarvabhaumya Bhattacharya, everybody in the family he was inquiring about them. And one day he got to know that everybody is fine at the family except this Amog. And Amog is infected with Haisa, that means a diarrhea type disease, very deadly disease. Now it is not prevailing, it is completely eradicated in India. But during those days, Haisa was a very prevailing disease. And there is a possibility, a very, very weak possibility of his survival. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't do any late. Immediately he rushed to Sarvabhaumya Bhattacharya's house. And what happened? He he placed his hand in the heart of Amog. Just think the mercy of the Lord. One side, the Jiva, we are doing all papas, all kind of rebuke, everything that we are doing to the Lord. Like so many instances. Putana, Aghasur, they're all liberated, right? Though they are doing all kind of nonsense thing in their life. And this is the example of higher order. You are invited, you are rebuked very left and right all the way. And now, when you got to know, Lord got to know, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu got to know that Amok is suffering. He didn't delay. Immediately he went. And what he did, he placed his hand in the chest of Amok. And what a next point is so beautiful. It says, you are a Brahman. You are a Brahman. And Brahman is very, very dear to the Lord. And this is the place the Lord resides. And I'm putting your hand so that Lord will reside here. And Amok becomes so exalted. Now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, now recite the name of the Lord. And with this name, what you'll do, you'll get association of the Lord eternally. You see, such a mercy. Such a mercy. One point of time, this Amog was so rebuking you, Bharshana, that means, and everybody got disturbed, but the Lord was not disturbed. And the Lord came running just the moment he got to know that Amog is not well, immediately he came and he placed his hand and saying that this is the place the Lord resides. And now onwards, Krishna will reside in your heart because you are a Brahman and you have a wonderful soul. And this is the vision of the Lord and vision of ours that differentiate. Right? Even in the Putana, the Lord could see this essence of this purity in her heart. Even at this, in the physical level, he was holding the Kalakut beast. But Lord could see what? the purity in the heart. So this is the mercy of the Lord. And the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu given the blessings that take the name, and this will give the liver, this will be give the association with the Lord. This will be giving you the association with the Lord. Right? I'm just reading that two verses. Very wonderful verse. This is from Madhya Lila, Adhyaya 25, and the verse 274, 73 and 74. Suni Krupamaya Prabhu Aila Dhaya. Dhaya means running. Suni Krupamaya Prabhu, the merciful Lord. The moment he got to know, Kise? Gopinath Acharya. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was asking to Gopinath Acharya about the well-being of the family, Sarvabhaumya Bhattacharya. Gopinath Acharya gela Prabhu darshane, Prabhu tare puchila Bhattacharya vivarane. Acharya kahe, upavas kelo dui jana, Visuchika Vyadhay Amokha Chadiye Jivana. Now, what Gopinath Acharya says, because of this Visuchika disease, Vyadhi, now he's leaving his body. He's leaving his body. Now, what Prabhu says, Suni Krupamaya Prabhu Aila Dhaya Amoghir Kahetara Buke Hasta Diya. Immediately Chaitanya Mahaprabhu coming rushed to Sarvabhaumya Bhattacharya's house. And what is Amoghera Kahetar Buke Hastya. In the heart, Kohe, in the bouquet means in the chest. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu placed his hand in his chest and he says, Sahaje Nirmalai Brahmana Hrudaya Krishnair Vasatehi Jogyasthana Haya. By default, the Brahmins are very clean in their heart. What is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says? By default, the Brahman are very clean in their heart. And Krishna say, it is the right place, it is the qualified place for Krishna to be residing. Such a wonderful point. Hai? Now, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu say, Maschara Chandala Kena Yeha Basa Elo, Parama Pavitra Sthana Apavitra Kelo. Now, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, now he's given all this. Now, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, very wonderful point. Utha amoga tumi lao Krishna naam. Utha amoga tumi laho Krishna naam. Achire tumara Krishna karive Bhagavan. Now, this is such a wonderful point. Utho, that means get off. Amog, get off. Now take the name of the Lord. Krishna, take the name of the Lord. And achire tumar krupa. And immediately Bhagavan Krishna will do what? He will be merciful and instantly Krishna will give the blessings to you. And what happened? Immediately what happened? Shuni Krishna bole amoga uthila primanmadi mattahaya nachitela gila. And immediately what happens? Amog got up from the bed immediately and he started in primanmad. He became exalted with this Krishna prema and he started dancing with Krishna. Nachitela gila. And this is the mercy of the Lord. Kampa asru pulakastamba khedaswara bhanga prabhu hase dekhe taro premerata ranga. Now what happens? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, looking at the Amog, he started laughing because what is this situation of Amog? This Amog is dying, right? He was dying just because of the disease. He was just about to die. Now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu just put his hand, now it became blessed. Now he started chanting Hare Krishna. Now he started dancing. And not only dancing, Kampa Asru Pulaka Stamba Khed Swara Vanga. These are this all symptom of the Astabikar. We'll not go to that because we are running short of time. The all Astabikar started demonstrating and looking at this. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu becomes so exalted and started laughing. So this is how the mercy flows from the Lord. Unconditional mercy. Even unqualified people, though we see the physical point of view, what we see, Amog is unqualified. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could see the purity in his heart and immediately just a glance Just one drop of mercy, Amog became purified, and he started demonstrating the Ashtavikar in his own life. And how much time it took? Fraction. And with that, what do you understand? We should, with these teachings, what is the number one? We have a desire. We can stay as long as in this metal world, as long as we desire. But the whole objective of this life is not to do that. The whole life, the objective of the life is to develop the attachment to the Lord. And how we can develop the attachment? Being associated with the Lord, with the mercy and with the service, we can start developing detachment from this metal world. And that's how we can establish our the real identity, be in our constitutional position, and to serve Lord with purity. And these are instant like Amog. Similarly, that came because Avinnatu Nama Namino, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Jagannath, Lord Krishna, and the name, these are all non-different. So we should have unflinching faith and the inquisitiveness to develop that. Hare Krishna. Prabhu, I hope I've taken the extra time. I'm sorry for that. If you have any questions, we can take some questions, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, thank you, sir. Thank you, Prabhu. That's absolutely not the right time. I mean, I think it was a wonderful summary of this particular chapter, fifth canto, third chapter, and very nicely you brought the essence. I would not again repeat for the sake of various things, but yes, everything leads to Haritoshanam. So we talked about the 7 ways and whatever ways to please Vishnu. And we talked about, you just talked about how, how we are actually tied up the modes of material nature like a bull which is tied to the cart. And you gave a wonderful thing of the mercy of Guru or the Lord is the only way to break free from this particular knot. And you emphasize on the 3 important things which is actually covered is that we have a strong desire always to get entangled, and it is our free will to be just entangled as long as we want. But what's more important is the developing the sambandha with the Lord, and that is very, very important to get us out of this entanglement, and most importantly, develop detachment by performing tapas, austerity, and various things. You took wonderful, examples of King Prataparudra, how he was longing, the eagerness, how it was there for him, and how he could see the Lord in this paraphernalia and every single part associate of the Lord in any form. How he gave importance to it, which is very important. And then you covered this wonderful pastime of Amog, who actually is, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's son-in-law, who actually was, he had certain things against the Lord, but still the Lord was so merciful that he was just showering his costless mercy. And he said, all this is important, Sambandha and everything, then we can engage in devotional service, which actually establishes our real identity. So thank you, wonderful Prabhu, a wonderful class.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Let me just, I just open the lines so that devotees can unmute and share their reflections or ask questions. Hare Krishna. Nandana.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Dandat Pranam. Thank you so much for the Nectarian class. Can I ask you a question?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, please Prabhu.
So Amog was against the Lord when the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was at his home. And when he was having a disease and he was about to leave his body, that is when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came out to give his mercy. Why is that the Lord did not give the mercy the first time when he was against the Lord in the first instance, and why he had to wait till he was deceased to give out his mercy?
Okay, this is such a wonderful question, Prabhu. And this is, I don't have that exact answer for that, Prabhu. This will be, if I say this, then it will be very overwhelming for me. First of all, let me accept that I don't have the right answer, because it is only the Lord who knows the intent. Sometimes the Lord gives some time for realization, self-realization. If you look at otherwise, the Lord is having the potency to give each and everybody the liberation, right? Even the Lord has got the potency to give liberation or maybe bhakti to each and every one. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu intended to do that, but Still, it was not that. Krishna came. He's got the potency. He got all the potency to give liberation and also to devotional service to Duryodhan, Dusasan, Karna, everybody, right? But still, Yogyata and the time is important. The qualification, the effort, the time, and the realizations is very important. Lord wanted to give us a teaching here. You are insulting Lord, right? Lord got to know that he's insulting me, he's rebuking me, and particularly the time was taking prasadam. But Lord also give the time for the self-realization. That's how we are learning from this wonderful pastime of Damodar Lila, right? What a wonderful pastime, Prabhu. And this two finger sword. The first finger is what? The first finger demonstrates that what kind of endeavor, this even endeavor that you're putting. Endeavor does not mean that you are going out and doing the service and all this. Endeavor could be the intent deep in your heart, because the heart resides the Lord. In your heart, the Lord is residing. The endeavor that you are in your thinking, that am I thinking about the Lord? Am I thinking, remembering the Lord? Am I thinking about his paraphernalia? Am I thinking about his lila? Am I thinking his name? Am I thinking about his service? And sometimes realizing the deep in the heart that, oh my Lord, I did this mistake. Oh my Lord, I don't have that interest. I don't have the inquisitiveness. This kind of inquisitiveness or intent, that's why Krishna is called Bhavagrahi, right? That Bhava he resides. And even the smallest fraction of the change in the Bhava that he get to know. And definitely gives opportunity for self-realization. And if you look at this particular chapter, the Rishabadev chapter, you'll see the whole intent is to purify your self-realization, to develop the self-realization. And that's how, from this point of time, we can get to know that Amok, the God is giving the time for self-realization, to purify the bhava. And particularly when you are thinking, when staying in Jagannath Dham, the essence is what? The bhava. And that's why Jagannath is called the Bhava Grahi. And through this, what we are getting to know, that even we are doing mistake against the Lord, but still an opportunity for us to introspect, to realize that what we're doing mistakes and how we can betterment ourselves, do the better for ourselves. And probably by this, the Lord is giving this message to all of us. Whatever you have done is okay, but now the time to realize. And second things, what happens? The Lord also, the punishment also comes, right, Prabhu? We are doing all the things, nonsense things that in our life, in our day-to-day life, without realizing, and we keep on doing that. And for example, if you are breaking the traffic rule, we'll keep on doing that. That becomes our habit now. And one day we are caught up, we are heavily punished. Thereafter, we realize, oh, we did a mistake. That punishment also be there. But probably with this punishment, definitely Lord never says this punishment will be end of the life. But with this punishment, we do realize thereafter the mercy also flows. Even that's why, even in the difficult time also, the Lord's mercy comes into picture. That is the most merciful time for the human being. Because that time, that difficulty will give you what? The realization. The difficulty will give you association. The difficulty will give you remembrance. The difficulty will give you the opportunity to course correction. And we don't know that what is the intent inside, deep inside the Amog. But probably during that time, he must be remembering the Lord, or he must be realizing what he did mistake. And Krishna is a bhavagrahi sarvasya chaham hridisannivisto mai shruti jnanam apohanam cha. God could understood that bhava and now being merciful immediately. This is my interpretation, Prabhu. This is probably, if anybody would like to. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. If anyone.
Hare Krishna, Arjuna Sakha, Prabhu. Can I add one more point,
Yeah,
Prabhuji? I think
please,
you gave a very beautiful
Great.
explanation, Prabhuji. I think we would have seen in the past, maybe in the 2020 to 22, during the COVID pandemic time. So typically, when we preach, It was not my personal experience, but I've seen that when we go out for preaching, it was really difficult to bring devotees to do the chanting, etc. But during the pandemic time, everybody was restricted to home, and I've seen in my extended family where I was telling them about the benefits of chanting, etc. But probably they didn't take it that seriously. But during the pandemic time, when people were going through difficulties, that's a time I think they took it very seriously. And when we go through difficulty, the purification happens. And when purification happens, then it becomes easier to nurture or cultivate Krishna consciousness. So that's what I've seen, Prabhuji, especially in the COVID time. Many devotees from our SLNT temple and the Mangalore temple, when they were conducting online 14 days Bhagavad Gita classes, thousands of people enrolled, and so many people got benefited, and they have coming up a big temple in Mangalore and Chennai. Once I heard His Holiness Jayapatak Maharaj say that, oh, this is Corona for materialistic people, but for us it is Karuna. Corona got turned into Karuna by Lord's mercy. Yeah, so.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Such a wonderful example at the right time, Prabhu. Yes. Such a wonderful example. And people we do realize with difficulties that is possible, because we are so much conditioned in this way. We take everything for granted. We take everything for granted. If your Krishna's mercy is also coming, we got the tendency that it is granted to me. We take it for granted. And with this, what we do, we tend to do mistakes. The four constitutional, the thing of the human body is to do mistakes. To err is human, right? To do mistake, and mistake. And when we get this mercy of the Lord also, we have the tendency to do again some, because we take it for granted. So this is really, God gives us the indication that don't take it for granted. Be always sincere, serious, and also always be very cautious about this thing. And bhakti is all about, this is a very serious affair, and we should be very, very cautious about everything, particularly when you take it for granted. Prabhu Krupa, Krishna Krupa, Vishnu Krupa, Parampara Krupa, when you start taking it for granted, definitely some kind of punishment comes in this picture. Again, there is a course correction, but definitely there is a mercy behind that. But why should we not be visual, not be serious about that? Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you very much for bringing this wonderful point, and that highlight from Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. For material people, it is Corona, but for us, for the spiritual progress, it is a Corona, definitely. Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Thank you, Arjuna Sakha Prabhuji. Thank you, Sankarshan Priya Prabhu, for clarifying. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Any other question or comment? We can take one more.
Yeah, Prabhu.
Looks like no other comment, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you
Thank
again
you very much, Prabhu,
for the wonderful overview of chapter 3, canto 5. Before we just end the session today, we will just do the Vaishnava Pranam. Vansha Kalpatarubhascha. Grantha Srimad Bhagavatam, Devi Guru Srila Prabhupada, Nitai Gaur Sitama Pratnande, Hari Hari Bol. Thank you everybody for just joining today's class. We'll just end the session now. Hare Krishna.